Turns out I'm stupid. Let's talk basic human instinct and my lack of. Through the process of making this billet, I burned myself a few times. As a baker, I've gotten used to burns. It's just something that happens under high pressure, large workload, cramped spaces. Burns are pretty well inevitable in the food industry when you're dealing with hot foods, hot trays, hot liquids, whatever. If you have a knee-jerk reaction and you jolt or whatever and you're carrying something hot, it could result in worse burns or injuring someone else or destroying the product. And as such, I've trained myself not to flinch, which is cool at work, whatever. You get a burn, sort of hurts and stings for a little while, you get a blister or something. But when you're working in a forge, burns are a bit more serious. So I don't flinch and I don't really react. And what ends up happening is a piece of scale comes flying off your billet and it burns you. As you can imagine, and the scale sticks. So if you don't get rid of it, it just stays there. It keeps burning, and it's, several hundreds of degrees. So I'm a bit of an idiot. So I got this one here first, followed very quickly by this one. This one's healing up fairly well. This one was really deep, quite bad. And so I thought, I'll put gloves on. And the first thing that happens is a piece of scale bounces off me and goes down my glove and burns me here. I couldn't brush it off because it's inside my glove. So I don't know, maybe I'm just destined to keep burning myself like an idiot. Anyway, it's enough about that. Self-preservation. My last video was when I made this billet and I said that I was going to continue on with this. And the main reason I didn't finish it in the last video was because I didn't actually know what I was going to do with this. I think I have an idea now, but it actually requires more steel, which I've ordered, haven't received yet. So that has to wait. And I'm going to jump back to some stuff that I made in a previous video. I ended up making a bunch of little squares that I wanted to fuse together and it didn't work. And it gave me this pattern on the inside. I had no idea what to do with it. I still kind of don't, but I have an idea. And I have all these little pieces just lying around. But I found that two of them did forge together fairly well. So I've gone and I've cleaned them all up. There's no scale on any of these. What I'm going to try to do basically is line them up in a certain way, stick a handle on it and smash them together into one piece and just see what happens. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, first things first, we need a handle. This is just a piece of rebar bought down from Bunnings. Fits really well into these tongs that I've bought myself. Means that I don't have to heat up this gigantic long thing to hold onto. I can heat up just this, use tongs to grab onto that. Try and give this a sufficient weld as not to have to keep coming back to deal with it again. Well, that's not the smartest bright spark in the sparkety tree. You can tell how much the whole thing heats up by the way it's changed color down here. Blue, pretty cool. Now, I'm thinking I want to... Look how much it's changing color. Just sitting here. That's really cool. I do things like this and I wonder how I've survived. I just do things in such profoundly stupid ways sometimes. Oh well, whatever. As long as it does the job, huh? I'm gonna tack weld this together just enough to allow me to forge them together, just to hold it in place. I'm not sure if that was the smartest place to do it. Helps if you do this. That match took me so long to light one-handed. Woo. You remember the whole self-preservation thing? I really wish I would stop walking in front of the forge and singeing all my freaking hairs off. It's like the 6th time I've done it. Guess so much for that. What do I do now? As per usual, I overestimated my abilities and I thought that what I had done was better than what I had done. The two pieces that I thought were forged together weren't. So the 3 that I had side by side fused together well, but the one that was attached to hasn't worked at all. So these are the 3 that were side by side. I mean, there's some ugly edges and whatnot, but I can grind that out. What I've done is I've used the angle grinder, round off this edge, and I've carved this groove out in the hopes that I can get these two to go like this and forge weld them together like that. If I can get them to bond together like that, that should be pretty good. But then what do I do? Well, I don't know. Can you hear all this ruckus? I'm trying to make a video here. Rude! I've barely tacked it together at the top there, just enough to hold it in place. I don't know. Well, that didn't work. I don't know what to do. What do I do? I'm getting close to having to call it quits. This is my last. Oh, it's hot. Jesus, that's really hot. This time, and I don't. If this doesn't work, I don't know what is going to. Tacked it at the bottom. I'm just going to smash them together. Hopefully, we get something out of this. This piece is going to be so small, I don't know what to do with it. If this attempt doesn't work, I don't think it's ever gonna. Don't know why these pieces aren't wanting to cooperate. These tongs are hot. Why does everything get hot? That big old line's pretty obvious. I don't think that welded together. You can see it follow around the side and then continue right through the middle here. I'll be able to find out if that's welded together or not. There's some angle grinding. I don't know why these pieces are, especially these two, like those 3 went together just fine. So I don't know why this one isn't forging into that one. We'll see. I don't really know what I can do with this now. I lost through all the grinding and various heats that I just did and all the scale that came off. I lost so much material, which is something that I'm learning about, that you lose a lot more than you anticipate. Once that cools off a bit, I'll have a go with the angle grinder or something, and I don't know. Extreme times call for extreme measures. What I've done is sandwiched that piece of Damascus that I don't know if it's worked or not between 2 more pieces of 1075. These are 2 mil, maybe 2.5. And then at the end, I've put another 1075, which is like 3.5 mil. Hopefully I can forge weld all of these together. I don't know. Well, 2 things went wrong. I forgot to press record. And secondly, I'm not entirely sure why. My guess is excessive heat. But my piece of 1075 sheared right there. And now it's left me with this ungodly mess. That may be it, folks. That may well be the final straw. Okay, it's been a while, about a week and a half. I apologise if I sound a little sick, but there's a reason for that. I am, but I've got to close out this video somehow. So, yet another failure. This is a mess. Basically what happened, it's my own fault. What I had done was sandwich my Damascus between two pieces of 1075, thrown another bit of 1075 here, which was longer, attached to my handle, so it did look something like this. So it did look something like this. In theory, I reckon this was going to work, but what I didn't think about was the difference in temperature. Like, this was going to take a while to heat up. This thinner section obviously was going to get hotter before the rest of it, which I just didn't think about. So where it broke here, it got overheated, and it was so overheated that all it took was for me to grab this thing to try and pull it out of the forge, and it sheared off, and it left this in the forge. So I had to figure out a way of pulling this out of the forge without a handle. I don't remember how I did it. I've been trying to rack my brains on what to do with this, but I think I've officially ruined it now, because I thought I don't know why, but I thought using a pair of tongs to hold onto this, I'd try and forge it together, which is stupid because I wasn't going to have enough material. But I got a successful forge weld here just in this corner. Maybe even along here, I'm not sure, on both sides. Which means I can't just peel these off, I can't cut them off. I think I've screwed the pooch again, which is something that I'm getting pretty good at. And it's getting a bit frustrating. But then I have to remind myself that I still don't know what I'm doing. I have like vague ideas and whatnot of how this stuff works, but it shouldn't come as a surprise that I break everything. And it shouldn't come as a surprise that things don't work. It's another lesson learned in how to handle the difference in temperatures. Not that I know how to handle it, I know what not to do again. It's a shame that I'm losing that piece. It's a real shame. But whatever, it is what it is. I'll just have to keep trying, I guess. But I guess that's just where I'm going to have to end it. So, another video without much success, but that's what this is all about. I'm still learning, I'm still practicing. I'm still jumping in the deep end with this Damascus malarkey, when really I should be teaching myself basic blacksmith skills first, forging skills. But on that note, catch you next time. I just wish there was a way that I could, snap my fingers and I'd be done with this. I don't believe it. All I had to do was drop it and it fixed itself.